Call the regular city council meeting, January 23rd, 2013 to order. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Here.
Mankiewicz.
Here.
Ferrari.
Here.
Waldorf. Here. Lukosius. Perez.
Here.
Radke.
Here.
Mazak.
Here.
Mayor Harrell.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, we don't have any cards filled out for the public comment at this time. Committee reports, Council and Finance, Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke.
Yes, Your Honor. Just a few items. First of all, the council all has a copy of the preliminary audits. They should be sitting at your desk as we speak. A special finance meeting will be called for Monday, January 28th at 4 p.m. At that meeting, we will have individuals from the accounting firm of Whipfly to discuss our annual audit, so you are all welcome to attend that. The scavenger contract, which we discussed last week, will be ready in the next couple meetings. The attorney is working on some of the items for the contract. Discussed a little bit as far as renewal of the bus lease. It has been typically renewed for a 2-year basis, and the city has paid half, as well as the city of LaSalle. We're not aware of what LaSalle will do at this point in time. We are suggesting that the council do renew the bus lease for half that amount, which I believe would be $801, and they would receive a new bus, and it would be warranted for the 2-year basis. Budget process is ongoing. Departments have done a wonderful job so far of putting together the budgets. We will continue that work, and we won't hold any paychecks back, but we do expect it to be done very quickly. Any questions from finance? Alderman Radke, anything to add?
No. Just ask. Gary's already verified.
Treasurer, I just handed Alderman Putoff the tax levy. You've verified all the numbers, so we're okay to send that off to the county?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Let me verify them publicly, if I can. The library total tax levy for the city of Peru is $459,250, and the city of Peru's county bill or tax district levy, which would be basically the fireman pension, police pension, the IMRF, the garbage collection, playground, band, and ESDA totals $485,200. That's correct? Okay. Thank you.
Alderman, all of the bond issues have been abated on there, Gary? To confirm that?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Everything's really taken care of. I think the only thing we have to watch for probably in the future are the maximum rates for the two categories for the library, both operating and building, but shouldn't be an issue this year.
Anything further from finance?
That's all, Your Honor.
Public Works, Alderman Waldorf.
Yes, Your Honor. Under the electric department, I have no report at this time. We do not have a total list of the streets by ward yet, so I will table the motion to approve the engineering agreement. Other than that, I have no report, Your Honor, although you just handed me a traffic count as of 1/22/2013. This is the first I've seen of it. Would you like everyone to have a copy?
I think there's enough there. Yeah, it's just showing the traffic count within the city on the different roads. Yep. That's all. Just
very good.
More to look at and absorb.
I'll pass this out, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Public Health and Safety, Alderman Ferrari, Alderman Perez.
Under police, unless you got anything, Deputy Chief? I have nothing under police.
I have no report at this time. Chief King, do you have anything? Last night, the BB Gun Club took place, and I don't know if anybody wants to speak on that, but Mr. Vaccaro did a great job, and I believe they had over 60 kids participate in that, and it was a great turnout. So kudos to you, Mr. Greg Vaccaro. Great job done. Other than that, I have nothing else under public health and safety.
Public property, Alderman Kami, and KH, Alderman Mays,
And Kimacher. We just held a public property meeting this evening at 6:30, and bids for the circuit separation came in. They're still high, but deconstruction was low at $315,820, and I'd like it on the agenda for Monday night to award a bid to deconstruction. The city will be required to pay 5% for local contribution. That would come in the vicinity of $16,000. The committee has voted to approve that. Also, TIPS was reviewed and discussed, and we did receive approval for our grind and overlay the parking lot and roadway from Wendy's all the way into the airport and the entire airport parking lot. And it came in at $276,284, and the city's portion of that is $27,627. I'd like that on the agenda for Monday night also, to approve the TIPS. And we mentioned follow-up on the pool demolition. We're waiting for EPA approval to start on that, and Pohar and Sons will be moving as soon as they get the approval. And the ice rink, some of it came in damaged, and they've reordered the parts. They're en route. And that was about it. Anything else, Sherry? All right. That was all, Your Honor.
report city attorney, ordinances, resolutions.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, on unfinished business, we have to discuss the proposed ordinance authorizing the establishment of restricted account and expense procedures for the biannual Operation Promise event. Do we have any discussion on that?
Yes, Your Honor. Last week we had a debate on whether or not Liberty Company should handle Operation Promise, the donations. I'd like to clarify my opposition to that suggestion. By no means, first off, I'd like to say by no means am I criticizing Liberty's ability to handle the funds that they currently handle. However, adding this responsibility on top of what they currently manage, along with the fact I am not a member of or a voice of that organization, it's important that the donations of Operation Promise are handled through the City of Peru. It's also important, Your Honor, to note, as of 2 years ago, Liberty Fire Company was dissolved as the mainstream of the city's fire department. 2 years ago, the Peru Fire Department went under the city umbrella and is not and should not be considered an outside group or organization as it once was. Liberty Company chose to remain as a separate organization that most firefighters chose to stay members of, which I am not. Some of the background with the Liberty Fire Company, at the end of the day, the city or the fire chief has no control of Liberty meetings or their decision-making process. Liberty has a president, secretary, treasurer, and board of directors who are all volunteers. Liberty secretary, 4 directors, nor the treasurer has a degree in finance or accounting or even hold or have held outside positions within the field of finance. Liberty Company could choose to close down that group at any time. They can choose to manage funds of Operation Promise to how they see fit. Donations and funding for this program is the foundation of the entire event. With that said, as the education officer, founder, and organizer of Operation Promise, I need to make sure the foundation of this program remains solid, which it has been over the past 2 years through the clerk's office. Secondly, in previous weeks, Alderman Putoff, Lukosius, and Radke has stated that an audit firm has highly advised the city does not accept donations. In fact, last week, Alderman Radke stated, quote, "The city has been in contact with our auditor, and they said unequivocally we should not be doing this." I'm not sure which audit firm has been consulted, but to set minds at ease, I've been in contact with our firm, was it WIFLI? WIPFLI. I have a copy of our email correspondence if anybody would like to see it, and according to our audit firm, there is no issue with the city managing the donations whatsoever. Lastly, last week, the mayor asked corporate counsel to amend the previous ordinance. The council received a copy of this on Monday. The council's main concern with our city auditor is at rest, and if the city is concerned with Operation Promise having an outside of the fire department, a board, I I have State Farm Agent Lori Janko-Wilkie, LP Principal Deb Nelson, St. Bede Principal Michelle Mershon, and LP staff member Georgia Storr, who is present here this evening. The motion last week I made, I seconded the motion from Sherry as she gave the motion on the Operation Promise, which I would really prefer to abstain from this, being that I'm so involved. So hopefully it has the support to go forward if a motion is made this evening, because I think that if I can, I would really like to distance myself and abstain from that vote if I could possibly do that. I have nothing further.
Well, we just have it on for discussion. We don't have it on for vote tonight. But I talked to LP's principal, Deb Nelson, today at 10 o'clock. And as everyone knows, there's 8 communities that make LP High School. You know, you have LaSalle, you have Peru, you have Oglesby, and then surrounding communities that come in to make LP High School. She said that there is no way that they would stop Operation Promise if we do not do it like it's been done in the past few years. And it wasn't founded in the last 4 years. It's been going on for 20-some years. Well, that's what I was told by the principal. So anyway, they appreciate everything we've done. They know that Peru is very, very involved. We shut our town down to do the filming. We supply police. The fire donates their time. Like I said, we shut our town down at a major intersection in the city. Operation Promise will not end if something changes and you tell us that you're not going to be involved unless you have full control over it. It's not going to end. So,
who's going to run it, Your Honor?
I don't know. The school will do it. I don't know. The school will do it. That's what I was told by the principal of LP High School today. She talked with Superintendent Steve Robleski. They do not wish to handle the finances of it, but they will fund it. It will be by donations, whatever. I don't know.
Okay, Your Honor, this whole thing this evening in our discussion is whether the city is going to support it or not and handle the donations. If that doesn't happen, then and LP is not willing to take the funding, who's going to take it? I mean, the foundation of Operation Promise is the funding. That's the foundation of it, the donations that come in. Now, if the city of Peru wants to go ahead and fund the $13,000 for it, then maybe I'll ask that it gets put into next year's budget, $13,000 for public health and or for public safety, or to increase that line item for the fire department so that program can go forward. I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere. It's just not going to come in from anywhere. And, you know, somebody's got to charge that up and head up on the donations. Who's going to do that? I mean, we have Operation Promise in progress now. We have to move forward, and either we're going to go forward with the donations and Operation Promise, or we're not. We can't decide in a month from now or 2 months from now on who's going to do it. It needs to be decided now, or Monday, to have it put on the agenda for the vote.
And that's fine. Like I said, Operation Promise is not going to stop if you're not involved in it.
Okay, that's great. And,
but we can vote on it next week. Treasurer Hyla, if you want to bring up some of the points on why this is happening, feel free.
You know, I think we've had some detailed conversations about Operation Promise over the last probably 12 months. And I don't think that the question about the value or the worth of the program to the local schools is the question that should be asked. I think the question should be asked, is this an appropriate vehicle for the city of Peru to basically place on their books? And I don't think that I've really seen anybody within the council, Rodney, besides probably you and Sherry, that believe that is an appropriate function for us to do. There's a lot of questions as to the quality of the type of invoices or bills that you have provided for payment. And what I mean by that is there's no checks and balances. In other words, you have been, as one would say, the lone gun. And so there's no one out there who's approving any of these expenses or handling any of the money but your particular self. In the conversation that was had with Deb Nelson this morning, I think she had indicated that the list of individuals that was being passed around as a committee for your particular fundraising activities, she was never really contacted before on that. In fact, she had no problem if that was disclosed tonight. So, the issue I think that we have is not if it is a worthwhile program, but is it a program that should be funded through and funneled through the city of Peru? And to be quite frank, from what I've seen, the answer is no. It just isn't.
Okay, according to the auditor, though, there's no problem with that.
I don't think the auditors have really seen the quality of what you've done yet.
The quality?
The quality.
Okay, but if we're going to put an ordinance together that's going to have the checks and balances and a process, then how is it poor quality?
Rodney, this isn't a debate.
It is a debate.
No, it's a one-sided debate on your side. I think what it really comes down to is you just don't have the support on this council.
That's right. And Treasurer Hyla, and the reason why I don't have the support on this council is because, and I will bring it out in public, I was told specifically by you that this council is going to snowball me on Operation Promise, and you told me that a month ago. And this is the reason why we're here today, because they are targeting me specific. You are right. The council is correct. This has nothing to do with Operation Promise. It has to do with Rodney Perez. And you told me that specifically, and it came from some of the other council members too. So that's why we are here today. So the issue is not with Operation Promise. It's with me. So I am the founder of it. It has not been around for 20 years. The first Operation Promise, Chief King, when was it? 2010? 9? That's not 20 years ago. We are the first ones to do it. So, I am the founder of it. The Peru Fire Department is the host of it. There's no difference between what we are doing and what the Peru Police Department and Chief Burnaby is doing with the BB Gun Club. Absolutely no difference. So I will just ask that it gets put on the agenda for Monday for a vote, and then we'll leave it at that. If it fails, it fails.
I just wanted to say something, Alderman Perez. I think you mentioned the foundation of Operation Promise was the foundation or the financial control. And really, I think you should look at the foundation to be alcohol education for the high school students. And I think you've got the city council's intentions very wrong. City council has and will continue to support educational programs that deal with alcohol abuse, that deal with particular issues that have been made public and certainly will be in the future. I think what our issue is, again, is for Operation Promise. There hasn't been any committees established within the city. There is no internal controls. There has been no council oversight, and it definitely has a personal conflict of interest attached, and that would be yourself. As you sit on the city council, I would say that it's important to understand that there are personal conflicts when you're dealing with the accounting procedures for the city of Peru. We do need internal controls, and quite honestly, we haven't seen that in the past, and we don't wish to support that in the future.
And I have no problem with that going to another committee within the city. I can step back from that. That's not an issue. I just want to handle the organization of the Operation Promise in general. The donations and all that will be funneled through the fire department and brought in from the chief. And I don't have to have anything to do with that. That's not an issue. We will have the checks and balances.
Well, if it wasn't an issue, you have a perfect entity, the entity of Liberty Fire, to do that. That's the perfect company that will give you the oversight.
Would you consider, would the council and finance committee consider, if it's voted down on Monday, that there is no doubt Operation can't go forward unless there's funding, $13,000. If Liberty Fire Company, as Mayor Harrell said last week, they are the arm of the fundraising organization for the Peru Fire Department. If they do not raise the funds for Operation Promise, will the city be willing to pick the balance up?
No, you're not going to spend the $13,000 that you spend. If you don't have the money, you're not going to spend it.
You're not going to
You're not going to spend it.
Well, you're going to try and raise it, but we have a donation here from Ivy Rodders that wasn't supposed to go to Operation Promise. How did that happen?
In whose opinion?
We have it from Ivy Rodders that it was not supposed to go to Operation Promise.
Okay, that check came to the Peru Fire Department. And since when, if a donation comes in and the Peru Fire Department, why is it up to the council to decide where that check, what they're going to do with it? I mean, that didn't go into my hands. That check didn't come to me and I said, here, it's going to go into the That was a decision that came from the chief and the public education group. I mean, I asked the chief of what we're going to do with it, and he said go into their Operation Promise. I mean, it's up to the fire department what they want to do with their donations. It's not up to the council to decide.
That's why.
It's a donation that went from the club to the fire department.
That's why Liberty said that they would handle the finances. They'll make a budget for Operation Promise, and then you'll go from there. Like I said, it's not just Peru that is involved in Operation Promise. It's LP High School, it's Putnam County, it's Hall, it's St. Bede, and we're going to put the $13,000 that you spent.
No, Putnam County put $1,000 into it last year. City approved it.
Okay, now you're asking for $13,000.
City approved.
That's what it cost for the whole event. Let's just go, we'll take it to the motion, we'll bring it to a motion, put it to the floor on Monday, and then we'll leave it at that. We shouldn't be spending so much time on something like this. We've got bigger things in the city of Peru to be dealing with.
Alderman Perez, I'm not trying to snowball you in any way, but in the fire department, I believe there's some people that do have degrees in accounting and financing, and they are utilized in that capacity. As you said, they were not. Number one. Number two, that same person was told last week that he didn't support Operation Promise in any way, shape, or form. And he indicated to you that's correct. His wife was having a baby that week, so he was a little bit busy. So he does have a degree in accounting, okay? And he is utilized.
He is not the treasurer or the secretary. He's the president.
But he's not utilizing his talents.
The treasurer is a welder. He's never held a degree in finance or
And
anything.
the public education officer is a truck driver.
No, I'm
Okay.
a firefighter. Let's just drop it. This is
Okay.
ridiculous, Bob.
Not a problem.
Well, that's what we hope to. We spent a lot of time on it, as you said, ridiculous time within the city, because you felt it was necessary. That the city's not arguing the relevance of alcohol education. We're relevance the procedures that you have taken in the past and the procedures you continue to do, and we won't stand for it, okay?
That's right. We're going to have to have checks and balances. We're going forward. We're doing it with the Finance Committee. We're doing it with a new committee within the City of Peru, in City Hall. So, you know, let's quit talking about the past, and we're going forward with it. We're going to make some new changes.
Well, the city of Peru has supported Operation Promise and continues to support Operation Promise. We have, as was said by the mayor, we close our streets for the filming. We allow it to be filmed in our city. Our police officers are there with their vehicles, the city of Peru vehicles. The fire department is there. Our firefighters and police officer are on the clock. I think that we have supported and will continue to support Operation Promise. I'm not in agreement with the opinion that we should administer the funding.
I think if I remember right, we rescheduled our entire meeting so that many of us could go to the event that night and thank Alderman Perez for the work that he does do with that. I think several of us were there for that. So I mean, I don't know how you can say we don't support the program.
Supporting the program is the council. It's not so much the police and the fire department. I mean, it's to go forward with it, closing the streets in Peru. I mean, we could easily close the streets in, in LaSalle or Putnam County or whatever. I mean, that's all irrelevant. I appreciate we're doing that, but it's, I'm asking for support from the administration on this council to support it. I have not seen it except for, and I do appreciate the few council members that did go. We had a few council members that didn't go. So, I just think it's something that we need to bring to a vote and just bring some closure to it so we can move forward. And I will, we'll discuss that more on Monday.
We can bring another item to a vote also, is to put the city finances for the fundraising arm into Liberty like we've proposed, and then the money will be there, Alderman Perez.
That's fine, you can do that. That's
okay.
Perfectly fine if you want to do that.
So
But
why?
like I said, I will not be managing it through.
Well,
this,
that's
and I can
your
do it.
choice.
That's fine.
Okay, but it will be there, and it's showing that the city does support it.
No, you're putting it into an area where it's not going to go forward. I'm just telling you that.
Okay. Clerk Bartley, make sure that we have the vote on the agenda, and then we also have a vote to turn the funds over to Liberty for them to make the budget and budget their money as they see fit. Because we have the problem of, once again, the checks that come in, you don't know where they go. You had a talk with Chief King.
Your Honor, out of all due respect, that's the past. We're going forward.
Yeah, that's right,
you.
but how you're gonna figure out where they go moving forward when you couldn't figure out where they're going? So you put them all in the same pot. Then you
We'll go forward.
Okay, do we have that, Clerk Bartley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, any other unfinished business? Okay, new business. I need on the agenda for Monday the appointment of Linda Hiltebrand for library board member to replace the retiring Mary Torson. And we've already sent Mary a letter, but thank you very much, Mary, for your time served on the Prue Library Board. And I need Jennifer Barr to replace the retiring Jill Brunell, and we thanked Jill last Monday. She was here last Monday. I don't know if I don't see her here tonight for the replacement of Jill Brunell for her retirement. And then I have a communique. Does anybody else have new business?
I just have a...
Yes.
I just like to say thanks to Officers John Atkins and Matt Peters for helping an injured dog last Saturday. The dog was hit by a car but was still able to walk. She was scared and bleeding. They tracked her from 4th Street to Shooting Park Road to the church near the cemetery, and then Ivar came. The dog was taken into surgery and is now back at home healing. I think our officers do a lot of supposedly small things for people that nobody ever hears about, and I want to let them know how very much appreciated they are.
Okay, I have a communication from Duncan and Brandt Insurance to the Honorable Mayor Scott J. Harrow. What's that? I'm sorry, I said Duncan and Brandt Insurance Attorneys at Law. Dear Mayor Harrow, regarding adjudication hearing City of Peru, I would ask that you add my Associate Attorney Victoria M. Munson as a capable and qualified backup to me as a City of Peru Administrative Hearing Officer. Attorney Munson will be in full compliance with 65 ILCS 5-1-2-1-4C. After her attendance at the February 6, 2013 hearing, it is my intent to attend each and every hearing, but the possibility always exists due to health reasons or an emergency that someone other than myself would need to be available upon short notice to preside at the scheduled hearing involving many participants that may have been given as much as 40 days of notice prior to the next hearing date. I would ask that you present this request to the Peru Council for the appointment for the Assistant Attorney to Attorney John Brandt for adjudication hearing. I would ask Deputy Chief Pishka, I know you've been here every night that we've had the adjudication. They're going very well. The money is staying in Peru instead of us receiving about 1% of it when it's all said and done, because it stays at the county level. And it's too bad there's so many people in here, but there are people that break the law. And they're in here at the adjudication hearing, and it's been going very well. Attorney Brandt's doing a very good job, and his assistant, Victoria Munson, seems to be a very capable person, and will have all of her qualifications necessary as of February 6, 2013. So I will ask for the appointment to be on the agenda for Monday the 28th. It'll be before February 6th, but it'll be done, and then it'll be ready for February 6th. Any other petitions or communications?
Just the communication, actually, Alderman Mankiewicz, do you want to go over that?
I made a request. True Veterans Memorial Group, with the permission of the City of Peru, will hold a short Memorial Day service on Monday, May 27th at 11 a.m. at Washington Park in Peru. I'd like to get permission to do that. The units will form up on the northwest corner of Washington Park at 10:30, march into the park at 10:45, and conduct their services at 11 o'clock as they've done every year in the past.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we allow that, as long as there's no complications with the police department or anything conflicting.
No, we do it every year. It's not a problem. I'll second that.
I have a motion by Alderman Waldorf, second by Alderman Perez, to receive the communication from the Peru Veterans Memorial Group requesting permission to hold a Memorial Day service on Monday, May 27, 2013, at Washington Park. A $600 donation to purchase, replace broken flags. We'll receive the communication and place it on file, but we'll have to have a roll call vote because we're talking about $600. Roll call vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Mankiewicz.
Here.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf.
Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Mazak.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Also, Your Honor, I don't know if it's in conjunction with this or a part of it, but the 2012 annual report from the Peru Veterans Memorial Group, during that period of time, they were called to duty 31 times. 26 veteran burials were conducted at the request of the families. The remaining 5 callouts were as follows. On May 28th of 2012, Memorial Day services were conducted at Washington Park. June 14th, Flag Day, all worn and torn American flags were retired according to proper protocol in the U.S. Code. The service was conducted by the Peru Boy Scout Troop 123 under the direction of the Peru Veterans Memorial Group. On November 11th, Veterans Day service was conducted at Veterans Park. For those of you who attended, you know how windy it was up there. We got a very good lesson on wind studies. And then on December 1st, 2012, Pearl Harbor Day Parade Memorial Service was conducted at the South Shore Boat Club. December 12th, Peru Veterans Memorial Group went to the Veterans Home in LaSalle to distribute 182 sweatsuits to the veterans residing at the home. This program, called Gifts to the Yanks That Gave, is funded by the American Legion at the national level. Currently, there are 19 active members serving in the Peru Veterans Memorial Group, ready to answer the call whenever needed. The support allows us to continue providing these memorial services to our proud veterans. Thank you. Respectfully submitted, Robert Ankiewicz, Commander. At this time, if I may, the 26 veterans that were laid to rest this past year were Charles Selke, Ken Mahoney, Jerry Pienta, Don Klein Sr., Walter Kessler, Vito Zerini, Walter Smorin, Stanley Watts, Leonard Riva, Jan Sterrett, Roger Cosgrove, John Alderson, Leonard Flannard, Gerald Kaczynski, Richard Oberholz, John Zeman, Hank Pelkey, Bob Bastian, Martin Sajak, John Kragolski, Dr. William Farley, Joseph Schweigert, Leonard Brakovich, Ray Glanz, Leroy Spitz, and Dennis Martin. These were the 26 men that were laid to rest. Just like to submit that to the City Council. Thank you.
Okay, Clerk Bartley, you're going to read this communication? Might as well.
We've got a thank you note. Just wanted to say thank you to Alderman Radke and the city building inspector for all their efforts to get a nearby property cleaned up of garbage. Hopefully it will stay clean. Thank you for the extra steps you both took. And that's from Peru resident Beverly Rupert at 717 10th Street.
Okay, any other petitions, communications?
No, Your Honor.
Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Okay, the first hand was back there. We need you to come up to the...
Thank you for allowing me to speak for a minute. My name's Nancy Burris. I'm from Granville, and I've been involved in Operation Promise for the past 2 programs that they had at LP. I am the mother of a daughter who was killed by drunk driving 14 years ago. And at that time, there weren't programs like Operation Promise. And since her death, I've been speaking as much as I can to the victim impact panels at LaSalle County. I've been to Grundy County. I go to Bureau County, and I've been to Cook County, trying to get my message out so another family doesn't have to go through what my family has with the loss of my daughter and to bury one of my children. I've seen with Rod how much heart he puts into this program, and I'm so sad that I feel this is threatened right now. Just this past Monday, we lost another 2 of our kids in Putnam County. And I'm pretty sure that alcohol was involved in that. And until the day that I die, I'm going to keep speaking for my daughter, who no longer has a voice. You have to stop this arguing and concentrate on the problem that we have. Alcohol is killing our kids. And I'm so sorry that I have to be here to say that. Please, remember why this is going on. If it saves one child to go to this Operation Promise, you've got to listen. We have to do whatever we can. If I had the money, I'd give it to myself to keep this program going. For my daughter, if you have children, if you have grandchildren, this can happen to you. I never thought this would happen to me. And I'll keep going to Operation Promise, and I'll keep going to every courthouse I can to tell these people what alcohol does to them. Please support this program. Thank you.
I'm just going to leave it at this, Your Honor, and thank you, Nancy. I would like to strike anything that we're going to be bringing to the council on Monday as far as an ordinance and a vote going forward. I've had contacts this week of other communities wanting to take on Operation Promise, and I'm going to move it forward with them. So you can go ahead and do what you want to do with Liberty, but if they want to head that up, they can. But I don't feel I have the support here to do what I feel it needs to be done to go forward with it. If you want to bring an Operation Promise, something different up, you can. But I will be going next week and patenting the name, and I will be taking it to another community. Thank you, Nancy. Go forward with that.
Okay, there was another hand up that wanted for public comment.
Hi, I don't know if you've known me from before, but I was actually in Operation Promise 2012. My name is Jocelyn Picado, and I wanted to tell you all that I have had an amazing experience being in Operation Promise. For me, it understands to be a lot. It means a lot to all of us around. It recommends to all ages, young, older, adults, elders. This hits us all. Even like Nancy said, like her daughter was killed in an alcoholic crime, sorry. But I'm saying I was in 2 accidents and I was sober. I flipped my car on black ice. My brakes went out and I rear-ended someone. And to honestly tell you, if I can do that soberly, even though it could have not have been my fault, those people out there that choose to drink and drive, everyone is under and in harm's way. So I understand that you guys say that, yes, you do a lot, Peru. You do. And I understand that Depew and St. Bede and Putnam County is involved. But think about it. If we're the ones supporting it, we're the main power, we're technically the heroes of it. We're providing that support for every county around here. Every county. They look, who did it? Whose town was that in? Peru's. Peru was the one to hold this. Operation Promise, please support it. Give all the value. There's so many people out there. I mean, look at me. I was one of the victims in the Operation Promise video. I died in the video, okay? During that video, my mom, my Nana, my grandma, my family members cried. That wasn't even real. Could you imagine if that was real? It'd affect a lot more than just my family watching a video. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else for public comment? No other public comment? It's sad, Alderman Perez, that you're trying to twist this around, that we're not supporting it. But if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. We're putting it in a different funding, but it will be supported. It's very sad that you're trying to pit some of the members of the audience against the council.
I'm not trying to do that, Your Honor, but there is so much involved in Operation Promise. I've been organizing and doing it. I mean, the Peru Fire Department, Liberty, they can take on another program if they want. I'm not going to stop them from doing it. But for me to be investing the amount of time that I put into it, it needs to fall into place and it needs to be done the way it needs to be done. And I know how that is. It wouldn't work doing it the way the council is suggesting it, and it's not right for the council to tell me where it needs to go for it to work. I know it's not, because it didn't in the past. It did not in the past, and I'm not going to go through it again because it's much bigger now than it was before.
Internal controls and oversight's important for every program, particularly when you're dealing with the municipality like the city of Peru. And if you don't feel that's a responsible thing, you do have choices.
Okay, no other public comment this time? Okay, there's no closed session tonight, so do we have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second, Your Honor.
Been a motion by Alderman Carey, second by Alderman Ferrari for adjournment. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.